So I was hacked. Yeah, that happened last week and it was really scary. So I thought I would kind of fill you in on my little story and hopefully it's helpful to somebody or you're just kind of behind the scenes knowing what's going on, sometimes running a small business, things that happen. So I just wanted to share with you how it happened and things that I'm going to do to hopefully prevent it from happening again. I'm by no means an expert on this, so research everything, of course, but hopefully this will help you. So, how it happened, the story or the mistake. Last week, my husband was logging into Facebook as he does because he does manage all of my ads. So he's always in there in the ads manager and doing that. So that's nothing unusual. He went in there and he remembered that I had said that I had to log into Facebook and did, ask him if he got a code or whatever, just because I had to crash my computer and log into everything else. So whatever, that's just sort of stuck in his brain. Anyways, he went on there, and while he was inside of Facebook on the desktop, he got kicked, it booted him out, and he had to re-log in, and it demanded that he reset his password. So red flag, yes, it is, but because it was inside of Facebook, it was a little confusing because, of course, if you get an email or something like that, you're not supposed to click on it. That could be a phishing scam, of course. But in this instance, it didn't trigger for him because it was inside of Facebook. So, anyways, he did that, got back in, did what he needed to do, and then it kicked him out and it said it was disabled. So we were like, what? That was strange. Anyways, we investigated further. We had emails saying your account has been disabled because you have not followed community standards. We're like, what? I don't know what could have possibly have done, but anyways, so they're like, okay. So I had to appeal it. So you just go and we've made sure this was a button that was absolutely for sure Facebook, it wasn't a scam, went in and appealed it. And so you think that you would be able to tell them what's going on or like, write something. You can't actually. It was all you had to do was take a picture, like a selfie of yourself real time, and then put in your driver's license or passport, which made me feel uncomfortable. But, you know, there was no other option. So I did it. And it said that your account's been disabled. We have accepted your appeal. And if we find that you did not follow the guidelines, that your account will be permanent disabled and you will have no other appeal. So it's like one and done. Like you have one chance. And I'm like, but we didn't even get to say anything, which was very strange. Anyways, or ask any questions. There's nothing, you feel very scared and alone. Now, I also have to mention that my Facebook account is linked to, or my Instagram account is also linked to my Facebook account so that when I post there, it posts to my page. So you guessed it. Not only was my Facebook account shut down, my Instagram was as well. So that was a heartbreaking, kind of threw me for a loop because you're like, my whole, except for YouTube, but my whole social media presence could be gone in an instant. And I think that's really a good lesson for everybody to remember that you are on, it is not your platform. It could just be gone. So you're like all your social credibility, especially like Instagram, you're a business, you're running this stuff. And if it shows that you've been doing this for 8 years and you have zero followers. It's kind of weird. So I was, yeah, a bit panicked. Anyways, try to stay calm, deep breaths. We tried to research. Actually, I will say though, Facebook does have an AI tool there that tries to help you, and you can chat with it and stuff. And it was trying to help us give us advice on how to get back in. So I did try to get back into my Instagram with some of the suggestions, and we noticed that one of the recovery email that it was supposed to be sent to was looked like my email address, but it had a different extension on the end. It wasn't .com, it was .fr. So we're like, "Ooh, we've been hacked." Okay, because that's not ours. So what I did, it suggested going and emailing support at Instagram, which I did, and I explained what happened and didn't really expect a reply, nor did I get one. And I also went into my other, I have two accounts, a Kris Lauren account on Instagram, and I went on there and just said, reported an issue about my other account. Now, if you don't have two accounts, then use your friends, your husbands, your buddies, whatever, your whoever, somebody else can report it as well. So you can do that. That's what we found out. I'm not sure if that helped or not, but we tried everything. I also was obviously the most concerned about losing touch with everybody. I mean, how would I let them know? Now, luckily for me, and maybe this is helpful for you if you're running a business, is that have an email list because that's the only thing that you have. So I knew at least I could communicate with people who are on my email list. Thank goodness. So all wouldn't have been lost. I'm hoping and assuming that most people who are in my Facebook group are also on my newsletter. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but I think most are. And that's a great way to stay in communication, even if all is lost. So that's a really good tip and a point I always tell anybody starting out. First thing you do, get an email list because that's the only thing that you have, that somebody can't take away from you. So at least I could get in touch that way, but still I felt bad. Like, who am I missing? Like, how you've built this community and like, ugh, just to start over again would be really painful. After 4 days of waiting, we thought, oh, well, this is probably it because it says, oh, it'll take just over a day to assess it. It was 4. And finally, we got an email saying that your account has been reinstated. And it was an absolute miracle because I know there's lots of stories about people who have done nothing, something's happened, and you're just done and nobody knows why. So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was amazed. So after, when you go back in to do this, it does walk you through some security steps, which was really good. So it does show you the accounts that are on there, and there was one account that it was saying it was my name, but it was not me. So that um, you can remove that permanently from your accounts. So that already they do that step. They walk you through that. They want to make sure that you have two-step authentication on, which we did. So, and like I said, my husband was able to get into the account and then it was disabled. We don't actually know exactly how we were hacked, but our guess is that it was some sort of extension. Somebody put some malware or something got into an extension on Chrome, the web browser, and that's how they got in. So it wasn't an email scam, it was something through the browser that's an external thing. So getting rid of all those extensions is always a good idea. We don't know which one. That is our guess, and that is what the Meta AI had suggested after explaining what had happened to the AI. So you don't ever really know, but all you can do is try to prevent things in the future. Pause the video. I forgot to say this, and that's exactly what you should do is pause before you're ever ever going to renew your password without you purposely doing it yourself. Stop. Just stop. Don't do anything. Shut the browser down. Go to a different browser. See if you can log in there. Just don't do anything. That's the key takeaway. Check the URL, see if there's anything weird about it. Don't reset your password unless you have initiated that. That's the big takeaway. The next thing I've done is unlink my Instagram to Facebook. So if I'm compromised on one or the other, at least both don't get affected. Yeah, it's going to take me an extra couple minutes just to post on two areas. Oh well, you know, I'll get over it. But I thought that would be I'm hoping and assuming that that will protect me from both being compromised. You can go into Facebook and check in passwords and security, and you can go there and just have a security checkup, and it will show you things that you can do to make your account more secure, which is a good idea to do. And then, of course, once you're reinstated, go through and just make sure nothing's been changed, any of your information. It will also walk you through showing your most recent comments or any sort of interactions. So that's good too. You can just check it. Nothing, I didn't have anything changed or any comments made. So no one, no one emailed me being like, oh, what did you say? Something weird. So that was good. Another thing that we did was set up another separate account as an administrator. So another administrator. So if one admin is shut down, another external admin can come in and at least take care of the group primarily or shut off ads or something like that. So that's another thing. Again, none of these are guaranteed to help everything because we were shut off at the highest level, like zero access. So normally that doesn't happen. You might have like more of a warning or more of it something else, apparently. Again, not an expert, but this was at like the highest level, shutting off both things. So that may work depending on the severity of your situation. The last thing I'm going to do is get verified. I've been trying to do it, but because our accounts were compromised, they do take a bit more time before. So you'd be like, oh, why don't you have a badge? And I've been able to do it for a little while, but I just thought it was kind of dumb to have to pay for it. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh, like, whatever, big deal, you have a check mark. Actually, the reason is you do have added protection and you do have someone you can contact. So that's why I, again, as a business, am going to do it just so that I can have, if anything goes wrong, I can contact a human being. And these days, apparently you got to pay for that. So that is what I'm going to do is another layer of just kind of keeping things safe and hopefully nothing happens in the future, but I think it's just good to, try to stay on top of these things. Now, what I will say is um, Facebook did good. They did. I mean, it was scary, but what happened was like we were hacked, and within minutes they shut it down. Their systems knew that there was a problem, and they shut it down before, anything bad happened. So that's pretty incredible. So as scary as it was, I'm also thankful that it did work in that way, and nothing, nobody was, none of the group, nobody was affected by it. It was just scary for me. But their security levels did what they're supposed to do. So I'm thankful for that. Anyways, hopefully that's a little insight into dramas. You're trying to draw some cute bunnies and having a panic attack while it's all happening. But yeah, such is the life as a small business owner, right? So hopefully that was in some way helpful to somebody. So anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.